Good morning, friends. We're on day 25 of our Sprightly book, and we're talking about labeling foods good or bad. And Melanie and I both feel strongly against that because as soon as we tell ourselves we can't have something, we want it. It's just human nature. I don't think it's just us. I think it's human nature. And definitely, we know there are foods that are going to serve us better than other foods. But as soon as we tell ourselves we can't have that because it's bad, it just doesn't work. So I don't know. Instead, we talk about maybe our habits. So, and things that have worked for us on our wellness journey. So in our book, we talk about intermittent fasting, we talk about our mindset, we talk about some other things, but we don't label foods. And we would never say don't ever eat that again because it's not life. I've had friends who have done that. I've done that a little bit. I've never cut out a lot of things at one time. I think that's hard, unless a doctor tells you to for your own health, and then that's a whole different ballgame. But even then, I would make a list of what you can eat, and we talked about that earlier in a different video, so that we're not labeling foods and we're not saying a list of don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat this, but what can I have and how do I create my menus around those foods?
Yeah, we do have a friend actually that has given up sugar and I think everything white at this point. And it's made a big difference and she feels really good. So, if you can do that and it's sustainable, that's great. Deb and I just, for our own selves, like good and bad food. I also noticed that when my kids were little, if someone told them that, oh, that's really good for you, I'm glad you like that. I actually never told them that either, that something was good for them. Because just like we're saying, like, as soon as somebody says that's bad for us and we can't have it, that's what we want. As soon as you tell somebody that something's good for them, a little person, when they're getting into that, can make decisions for themselves and you're telling them, oh yeah, that's really good for you, then it takes the joy out of it. I'm sorry, they don't want it anymore. At least that was my kids. I'm a granddaughter too. Like, I just never told them whether it was good or bad for them. I say that it's a better choice or whatever, but I really tried to stay away from that.
Well, and I know adults who feel that way. As soon as you say it's good for you, they're like, oh, then I'm not going to like it. We equate like good for you food as bland and tasteless and awful. And I know friends who will say, well, if it tastes good, it can't be good for me, which is so sad. But we kind of do that. We think of good for you foods as foods we don't want to eat. So it is children. And I think it probably starts as children, but it can go into adulthood where, yeah. So it's better if we stay away from doing that and just food is food.
Yeah. And keep track of what you like.
Yeah.
And then if you know that you like it and it's beneficial to your health and you feel good on it, then you have more of that. As opposed to saying, oh, I have to eat that because it's good for me. I think that's one of those things with those diet things too. Like when you hear that, then after a while, you're like, I'm tired of eating all the stuff that's good for me.
Right. I want something that I enjoy and tastes good. And it's true. Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah. So if you can start thinking about all the things that are nutritious that you like the taste of, then you're like, oh, I want that. Like I like the way that tastes. So I want more of that. Anyway, it's all in our mind, friends. I'm telling you, so much is right here.
It is.
And the more we can change that and our thinking around food and nutrition and exercise, again, it's that word exercise, that's why we like creative movement. The more you can start changing those thoughts in your brain, the easier it will be to make the choices that you really want to make.
Yeah, it's very true. All starts here.
Yes. All right, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.